We've all heard of the RB, the JZ, the N54, N55, and N58. But have you heard of the Barra Turbo? Today, we are going to hop right in and tell you everything you need to know about the Ford Barra. So the Barra is named after a fish, the barramundi fish. So Barra is an Australian-only engine range that came in the Ford Falcon and the Ford Territory, which is an SUV-looking thing. In America, it looks pretty much like an Escape. But they were derived from the single overhead cam, inline six, and some of the older models. So these engines were only produced from 2002 until the end of production in 2016 on the Falcon and Territory only. These engines did not come in anything in the United States, in Europe, Asia, anywhere else. They were specific to Australia and New Zealand only. So let's get into a little bit of the specifics here of the engine itself. So it is a 4.0 liter displacement. These things are actually long, tall, and heavy. So the head on these is actually about 6 inches longer than a 2JZ head, with the horsepower numbers ranging anywhere from 209 horsepower all the way up to 436 horsepower. And with the torque numbers ranging anywhere from 276 pound-feet of torque up to 425 pound-feet of torque from the factory. So with a cast iron block and a cast aluminum head, dual overhead cams, and 4 valves per cylinder, these things absolutely love boost. From the factory, they came in a naturally aspirated variant as well as a turbocharged variant. They run on gas or LPG, which is liquid petroleum gas, and for us Americans here, that is exactly like your typical propane gas. So a little different here. That is not as widespread here as it is in Australia. With simple supporting mods like changing the intake manifold from plastic to metal, oil pump gears, valve springs, head studs, and an upgraded turbo, they're known to make 650 rear wheel horsepower on a factory bottom end, which is pretty good. And with a built bottom end, these things are easily known to make over 1,000 horsepower. There's even a drag car in Australia that makes 2,000 horsepower, spends 10,000 plus RPMs, and that's on a stock head and block. As I mentioned, these engines came in a naturally aspirated variant as well as a turbocharged variant. But if yours came with a naturally aspirated, there is still the option to add the turbocharger down the road. In Australia and New Zealand, they call that NA plus T, which is naturally aspirated plus turbo. So in Australia, obviously these came in a factory car, but they are also popular putting them into other makes and models. They are really reliable, easy to make power with, which makes them a great candidate, and obviously easy to get parts for those guys. Whereas in the United States, it is a little bit more difficult because, of course, you have to ship them here, and there's not as much support, and parts are a little harder to get. But if you know somebody, there are a ton of good sources online to where you can order online. BarraTheWorld.com is a good spot for that, because if you're an American and you want to buy this engine and buy parts for this thing, go to the website and you can get anything you need, even a complete engine. They will ship it directly to your door. I hope you've learned about Ford's Barra engine, and make sure you subscribe because we have big plans for this platform here in the United States. And for now, let's roll in some of my favorite clips of the Barra in action.